subscribe.
Legacy of Destruction is right around the corner, and with it comes some very exciting new cards. So many different decks and archetypes get support with this new set, and today we're going to be talking about some of those cards. So let's get into it. Right off the bat, we're getting into the card I am most excited about in this set, and that is Centurion Oxela. That's right, the Centurion deck gets a couple of new tools in this set, and Oxela has some really nice effects. Not only does it have built-in face-up spell and trap protection, but on summon it also can search you any Centurion cards, so it's much easier to get to one of your Centurion traps, and in the end phase it can place one of your Centurion monsters from graveyard or banished into your spell and trap zone, meaning things like Dimension Shifter just doesn't bother you anymore. What has me really excited about this card though is the fact that it is a Dark Dragon Synchro. Yeah, this random Centurion support card just made Red Dragon Archfiend so much better, but that's a whole other video. We'll get into that in the near future. I need to get the cards first, man. It's a secret rare, you know? For now, we'll talk about another one of the Centurion cards in this set, and that is Wake Up Centurion. This ultra rare quick play spell allows you to push past interruption by special summoning a token that's either level 4 or level 8, as long as you have a monster card in your spell and trap zone. On top of that, it also has a graveyard effect, and you can use both effects in the same turn. It banishes itself from the graveyard, allowing you to send any Centurion card from your deck to the graveyard. It's a nice little roundabout way of getting you to your full Centurion setup and giving your opponent the old left-right King Calamity good night. Moving on from there, you Bell players are going to be eating good because that deck gets a nice buff in this set, especially with this new Nightmare Throne card. It's an ultra rare field spell which on activation it takes a fiend monster with 0 attack and defense from your deck and either adds it to your hand or destroys it. So this is another way of starting up your plays by giving you access to Samsara D Lotus, but it also has another nice effect as well. Once per turn, if a face-up Yubel monsters you control leaves a field by card effect, you can add to your hand one Yubel monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment whose original level is 1 higher or lower than one of those monsters. Then you can special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. You're able to trigger this yourself with the effect of Nightmare Pain from Phantom Nightmare, which allows you to gain your resources while also maintaining a Yubel monster on the field for Eternal Favorite. So it's a pretty good card for you Yubel players. The Snake Eyes and Sinful Spoils lore also continues in this set with a variety of new cards, one of which being the new secret rare Diaab Bellstar, the original Sinkeeper. This card can just special summon itself for free if there's a Sinful Spoils card in either player's graveyard, which isn't too uncommon right now because that engine is very, very strong. And while she's on your field, your opponent must set spell and trap cards before activating them. So if their strategy relies a lot on quick play spells, for example Parley, they're gonna have a little bit of trouble. She gets even better than that though, because if a set spell or trap just happens to be placed on the field, she can target one card you control and one card your opponent controls, then destroy both of them. It's like the perfect counter to Diaab Bellstar the Black Witch, setting original Sinful Spoils from the deck. And interestingly enough, this new card is an illusion monster, which means it can be searched by the new Nightmare Apprentice. Yeah, she is a new level 6 secret rare illusion monster, and she can just special summon herself from hand as well by discarding a card. On summon, she's able to search any illusion monster, so for example you can go into your Mirror Sword Knight, and because you haven't used your normal summon yet, you can then normal summon Mirror Sword Knight and go into your Chimera plays. Yeah, like I said, a lot of archetypes getting support here. Diaab Bellstar herself also makes an appearance in the ultra rare Snake Eyes Diaab Bellstar. We see a Poplar in a much larger form here. Oh, he mad. But yeah, this card has a lot of cool effects that all revolve around placing monsters in the spell and trap zones. So when an attack is declared involving this card and opponent's monster, you can place this card from the field and that opponent's monster into the spell and trap zones as continuous spells. And then while this card is a continuous spell, you can target one fire monster in your graveyard, place it face up in its spell and trap zone as a continuous spell, and if you do, special summon this card. So essentially this allows you to get a lot more value out of something like Dramatic Snake Eye Chase, as it essentially becomes a way to extend your plays without having to rely on your opponent summoning a monster. Legacy of Destruction also has fan favorite Lightsworn support, which is very, very exciting in the form of a few cards, including Baby Judgment Dragon. Yeah, this little cutie is actually an ultra rare called Lightsworn Dragonling, and this card is insane. First effect, if you have a Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Already very, very good. For example, if you start with Charge of the Light Brigade, you get a Lightsworn card in your graveyard, you add Lightsworn Dragonling, you're good to go. Second effect, if this card is special summoned, you can send one Lightsworn card from your deck to the graveyard except Lightsworn Dragonling. This gives you access to so many different effects. For example, if you send Felis, you can reborn it and then you have immediate access to a level 8 Synchro, which takes us to the third effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a dragon monster with 3000 attack, 2600 defense from your deck to your hand. So, Judgment Dragon or Punishment Dragon. And you also get a new level 8 Synchro in this set as well, Minerva, the Athenian Lightsworn. So many good additional ways to set up your Lightsworn plays, dude. This new Synchro Minerva prevents your Lightsworn monsters from being banished by card effects, but also when she's Synchro summoned, you can send Lightsworn monsters with different types from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of Lightsworn monsters used as this card's materials. Then on top of that, you can banish up to 4 Lightsworn monsters from your graveyard, send that many cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. So it's easier than ever to summon your Judgment Dragon or Punishment Dragon. Next up, we have another secret rare, and this time it's a pretty generic rank 10, and this card looks nuts. Varu Dress, the final bringer of the end times. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation, then you can detach one material from this card, then destroy one card on the field. Wow. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks while it has material, you can destroy one card on the field. Wow. If this Xyz summoned card is destroyed, you can destroy one card on the field. Wow. It's kind of like you give a negate to Unchained Abomination, and here we are. Yeah, this is definitely a really good card in any deck that can just spit out level 10s. It's a card to hold on to, that's for sure. For the final card that we're going to be talking about today, it's not an ultra or a secret rare. It's a field spell called Way Where There's a Will, and this is a very interesting card. During the main phase, the turn player can activate this effect. Excavate cards from the top of your deck up to the number of cards your opponent controls, and if you do, add one of them to your hand. Also, after that, place any remaining cards and one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck, in any order. So in a weird way, it's kind of like Pot of Prosperity going second, just without the extra deck cost. Of course, you're placing a card on the bottom of your deck as well, so you're going -1 card compared to Pot of Prosperity, but digging through your deck is very powerful. Also, if you fail to defeat your opponent on this turn and your field spell is still up, when it goes to your opponent's turn, they could then use it to dig through their deck on their turn. So it's got a couple of caveats, but you can dig through your deck for that forbidden droplet you sided in. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this card and all of the cards that we mentioned today. What are you most excited about in Legacy of Destruction? And then if you come back tomorrow, we got 2 boxes to open, so stay tuned for that, subscribe, and I'll see you then. Adios.